All right, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. I'm Brian Kilmeade, and according to reports, I am going to be in for Tucker for the whole hour. Keep your fingers crossed. Now, just hours ago, hundreds of pages of documents from inside Tony Fauci's agency, the National Institute of Health, were published by the news outlet The Intercept. They confirm that, get this, Tony Fauci's NIH funded what's known as gain-of-function research. There's that term again, in Wuhan. There's that city again. Gain-of-function research includes any research that makes viruses more transmissible and more deadly. According to the documents obtained by The Intercept, the NIH was specifically funding gain-of-function research to spike the genes from one coronavirus with the genetic information from other coronaviruses in the process. The documents reveal the researchers created a new, more potent virus that could easily infect humans. What could go wrong? Gary Ruskin, the executive director of the group, U.S. Right to Know, says the documents are, quote, a roadmap to the high-risk research that could have led to the current pandemic, close quote. That research includes a 2014 project funded by the NIH for bat coronaviruses research in Wuhan. The project was led by virologist named Peter Daszak. There's that name again. The president of the group, Echo Health Alliance. And the grant from the NIH authorized Peter Daszak and Echo Health Alliance to conduct, quote, virus infection experiments across a range of cell cultures from different species and humanized mice. We've known about that grant for months now, but the new internal NIH documents obtained by The Intercept expose exactly what went on during those virus infection experiments on the mice. According to Richard Ebright, he's a professor of chemical biology at Rutgers University, quote here, the materials revealed for the first time that one of the resulting novel laboratory-generated SARS-related coronaviruses was more pathogenic to humanized mice than the starting virus from which it was constructed. Uh-oh. In other words, the NIH was sending taxpayer funds to, there's that guy again, Peter Daszak, to make coronaviruses more dangerous. Remember, as recently as December of 2019, just before the pandemic began, Peter Daszak was bragging about how easy it is to manipulate the coronavirus.
Coronaviruses are pretty good. I mean, you're a virologist, you know all this stuff, but you can manipulate them in the lab pretty easily. It's just spike protein drives a lot of what happens with the coronavirus, zoonotic risk. So you can get the sequence, you can build the protein, and we work with Ralph Barrick at UNC to do this. Insert it into a backbone of another virus, and do some work in the lab.
After the pandemic began, Peter Daszak stopped bragging. Instead, he organized a letter to Lancet, a respected journal, from several virologists. The letter claimed the virus didn't originate in a lab. Isn't that nice? Tony Fauci cited that letter on television as proof that the virus was not man-made.
If you look at the evolution of the virus in bats and what's out there now, it's very, very strongly leaning towards this could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated, the way the mutations have naturally evolved. A number of very qualified evolutionary biologists have said that everything about the stepwise evolution over time strongly indicates that it evolved in nature and then jumped species.
All right, case closed. That's what Tony Fauci was saying publicly. But from his private emails, we know that Tony was actually very concerned about whether gain-of-function research caused this pandemic. And today's document dump reveals that everyone involved in the research was also very worried about that possibility. Now, after reviewing the internal NIH documents published by The Intercept, one biologist, Alina Chan, made this assessment, quote, in this proposal, they actually point out that they know how risky the work is. They keep talking about people potentially getting bitten, and they keep records of everyone who got bitten, Chan said. So, does Echo Health have those records? And if not, how can they possibly rule out a research-related accident? Now, some of this research is dangerous, according to Richard Ebright, and it was occurring in facilities that have the same safety precautions as the average dentist's office. Here's what one of the facilities looks like.
It is not a conspiracy to say there were live bats at the lab. It is a fact. And as you can see, this video shows bats in a cage at the Wuhan Institute. You can also see there a researcher feeding a bat with a worm. And in this image, we can see researchers out capturing bats, and a bat even hangs off a researcher's hat. In another image, there are mouse cages, hundreds of them, We know that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was using humanized mice for experiments to see which coronaviruses could infect humans.
Some of the most irresponsible video you'll ever see. Now, in 2017, Tony Fauci authorized another grant in Wuhan. This time he funded, quote, cell entry studies, three newly identified SARS coronaviruses. Now, this summer, Senator Rand Paul, you might remember, of Kentucky, asked Tony Fauci about that grant.
Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function.
So
let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans,
right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly.
It now appears that Tony Fauci was lying under oath. According to Richard Ebright, quote, the documents make it clear that assertions by the NHS director, Francis Collins, and Anthony Fauci that the NIH did not support gain-of-function research of potential pandemic pathogen enhancement and the Wuhan and are untruthful, I should say. And Tony Fauci isn't the only one who's been caught lying. You got Ian Lipkin. He's a professor at Columbia University. He's one of the world's top epidemiologists. He says he's heard about a major influenza outbreak in Wuhan back in December of 2019, December 15th to be exact, more than 2 weeks before China disclosed the COVID pandemic, global health authorities. Listen.
I heard, I guess it was December 15th about this new outbreak.
That's you first heard about it, right?
That's why I heard about this on December 15th.
It's a little early, right?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.